I'm Scott.
I'm Katie.
I, James.
And welcome to Science with Katie, Scott, and James. Yay! Today we will be explaining to you the amazing truth on how our cells function and the processes of using, storing, and releasing energy. First, I will explain the parts of a cell and the ways we use them for intaking and exporting molecules.
Part 1. Cell membrane. Go.
Exocytosis, receptor-mediated endocytosis. Phagocytosis, pancocytosis, channel proteins, carrier proteins, and simple diffusion through the phospholipid bilayer with a hydrophilic head and a hydrophobic tails on each side. There are many ways in which our cells take in and expel molecules and large molecules, such as the main biological molecules, lipids, proteins, amino acids, and carbohydrates, which require special ways to take them into the cell.
That's right. And these systems are divided into two groups, active transport and passive transport. Active transports are processes that must use energy to allow molecules and ions to pass through the phospholipid bilayer and into the cell. As you may have guessed, passive transport requires no energy to take in and move molecules and ions through the cell.
Part 2. Cytoplasm processes.
Once inside a cell, the molecules or ions travel in the lysosomes to the Golgi apparatus, which acts as a sort of mail system. From there, they are sent to either the smooth endoplasmic reticulum or the rough endoplasmic reticulum.
If a molecule is sent to the rough ER, the ribosomes lining the ER break down the molecules and use the parts to reconstruct the molecule or ion the cell needs. If the molecules are sent to the smooth ER, they are then processed and used for one of the cell's many incredible chemical reactions to perform a life-sustaining function for an organism.
Energy is the ability to do work. Work can be defined as exerting force on an object. Kinetic energy is the energy of motion, while potential energy is stored energy. New energy can always be made.
Wait a second, James. I think you're wrong. Energy can always change from these forms, but by the first law of thermodynamics, it can't be created or destroyed under ordinary circumstances. And by that, we mean unless you have a nuclear reaction. You see, each time energy changes form, its usefulness is decreased by the second law of thermodynamics. An example is that while a car uses a lot of energy to move down the road, only 25% goes into the movement, and the rest, which is 75% if you don't know how to do math, or you're just really bad at it, is given off in the form of heat and friction, which is why James is about to pass out from heat stroke.
We are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. Beep.
You're right, Katie. I'm sorry I'm such a blockhead sometimes. No, always.
That's okay, James. You don't have to have a brain.
Hey! I do remember one thing. Energy flows in many different forms created by chemical reactions. Chemical bonds are formed and broken between molecules during chemical reactions, creating new products and new forms of energy. In an exergonic reaction, the energy is released, and in an endergonic reaction, the energy goes in to form the reactants.
Now it's time to review everything that we've learned today. You see, Katie is using the energy that she acquired from all the biological molecules and ions coming into her system through passive transport and active transport. Through this, they're coming into the cell to the Golgi apparatus and then down into either the smooth ER or the rough ER. Then Katie's using the energy, is able to create the energy and then perform reactions to get even more and use proteins to make herself stronger to beat up James even harder. We all hope you learned something on how energy is created today. We all know James did.
Unfortunately, our funding is being cut by Knudsen Enterprises. This will be our last episode.
Action.
Hello, I'm Scott.
I'm Katie.
So this time I get to push Katie away.
No, seriously, like, don't punch me. I have a bruise from ice skating. Because I fell, like, sideways like that on my elbow. Do you see? Do you see?
You're an ice skater, Katie.
It's all blue. Do you see?
Too close. Too close. Okay,
Wait,
okay, that's
recording?
enough.